You're doing many things right now, but I'm not hearing that you're trying to learn French, NineK. You were supposed to learn French last season. What do you do? What do you do? I wanted to ask you a French question.
Oh my god, oh my god.
Hello NineK, thank you very much for sharing a moment with the French community who will not forget you and who will follow you in your new project with Philadelphia Fusion.
Hello, glad to meet you again.
Yeah, it's good to hear you. It's good to see you as well, NineK. And I know that someone lent you the webcam you're using right now.
Are you seriously gonna mention that? Yeah, I borrowed from the Amala. Yeah, because I left my webcam at the Paris, and yeah, I forgot to bring it. Yeah, so I need to bring like instantly, so I bring from her.
Oh, and Paris Eternal won't give the webcam back to you, right? They're trying to save money, so.
Yeah, Amala should get to find it.
So you were able to meet Avala despite the situation, the COVID situation in Korea?
Yeah, because if we're not go to the, like a public area, I mean, if you go to public area, if you're wearing the mask, it's still fine. But most of the time, meet someone is fine, but you're not allowed to taking a coffee in the coffee shop and like some area you're not allowed to go for them. So I think most of the is fine. Yeah.
All right. And for how long have you been in Korea right now?
It's approximately 3 months. Yeah. So
okay. Directly from the end of the season, you went back to Korea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. After like 2 days, I think we went back to the Korea because during the whole season, I think everyone was quite tired and everything. So and they homesick everyone. So I went, and we can't do something like a special thing at the New Jersey anymore, and we just want to be making the player get less, and so we send back to the player directly after we finished that season.
It's good to be back home.
Yeah, but I mean, 2-week quarantine was some kind of nightmare. I can't explain it, but it's literally nightmare, and you're not allowed to throw your dirty bean or something like that. You need to keep it 2 weeks, and after that, the government person come to your house and took it for the clean it and something like that. So it's kind of nightmare, but yeah, I glad to back to Korea. I mean, this is my longest time. I mean, it's not actual longest, but yeah, it's kind of like a long journey from me to stay in the New Jersey. Yeah.
And a lot of things have happened since the end of the season. NineK, you're an ambitious person, right? And that's a quality. Don't worry. But when you understood that Paris Eternal won't be able to fight for the title next season, you knew that your path will split.
I mean, I'm still recovering myself from the situation. I mean, it's something like the same thing happened in the one time back to the memory. It's lots of cards. This is totally same situation, but that time and this time is quite different thing. As the time I already know we're gonna be like a split out and everything like that. But Paris Eternal, I really didn't know until I heard from the company. So, but feel like it was something more than nightmare. I mean, it's hard to explain it, but it's something like a hard to my mind and hard to know like a player and coach a lot. I mean that is something because after the season over, I mean, even we didn't making the high place and the playoff, everyone feel like, oh, next year is gonna be, we can do everyone too strong to get a goal to the higher than this year, and everyone expecting that, and everyone want to be like get the higher shape. So after we finished the playoff and everyone we grew up together, talk about it and what is gonna be like a next year goal, and we like combine together. Let's do this year we missed something like that, and next year is gonna be a better year. Next year we need to do like a practice this way, something like we talk about that a lot, but yeah. Something disappeared.
Yeah, you mean that at the end of the season you were already thinking with the rest of the coaching staff and the players about 2021 with Paris Eternal?
Yeah, Yeah, we definitely do. So that is the reason I meet the individual player with what let's do next year this one, and let's practice this one and something like that. But yeah, it's a.
So you were surprised? I mean that Paris went for a budget team for 2021. What did you say when you learned this?
Always GM need to be thinking about the worst case and the best case, right? So my best case is everyone gonna be together next year. I mean, we may be someone in, someone out, but I need to like make it a plan for the 2021. And I was writing down about the report with the Avala and like who's a president or something. And that time after I also thinking of the worst case is my worst case was budget cut to everyone, so maybe someone we can't keep it, or maybe someone we need to drop down their budget or something like that. But I think the really hard expecting about the team totally gonna bloom up at the same time. So yeah, it's kind of like I mean, I was expecting like a really little bit, but I didn't like expecting like that much. I mean, because I think because we making the great season. I mean, we didn't make it the play of like a high quality and high performance but still it was pretty good season. So I thinking was like we might become possible to stay together next year. Yeah.
Yeah, and one part of the succeed is stability, right? To keep the same player, the same coaching staff, and work on the long term with them.
Yeah, sure. I mean, second year is if you're thinking about every sports, every second year team is really stronger than the last year. Something different. I mean, because there doesn't need to be spending for the fixing about some part and like a communication problem, everything, and we're done it. So second year is I think the most strong year for every team. So there's the reason. Next year I was like thinking about let's get something more higher than this year. And let's beat every team next year, and we was expecting to do that. So, but it's not gonna happen. Yeah.
So when did you learn that you're gonna be released with all the coaching staff?
When do I know? When do I know?
Yeah. When did you learn that?
I mean, to be honest, I didn't talk to the player really long time, but I knew that quite earlier than people expecting it. I mean, it's probably when I arrived in Korea or before that. My president told me we're possible to be gonna be bloom up next year. And
during the season? You mean during the season?
No. Okay, after we're everything done. So. But he told me it is not decided yet, and let's waiting a bit more. And that is the reason I never talk to the player, because if I say that to my player, and if they're mindly gone from the Paris, try to like release us, like at least try or thinking was not really good sounder for the player. So I never share with the player until the almost announce it, because the company didn't decide a really long time. So, and there was thinking about the next year stuff a lot. And yeah, I didn't know I can't know the detail what they're thinking actually, but it's decided really late. It's almost like end of October. I can't remember the date, but it's October something. So it's decided really late.
Okay, and did you had a tough time to recover from that decision? I mean, emotionally speaking, it's tough when you have to say goodbye to the player, the coaching staff, to a project you've been involved in for more than a year.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, actually, yes. I mean, I will gonna say that after that, but I'm right now working with the POKO and working with some like a European player, like a Shockwave or like them. I mean, but it's fine to coaching them and fine to like I can do my work, but I mean I sometimes like I get like a hard time to do coaching them. It's not because of language, it's not because of them, and it's not. I think it's my mental is not ready for the coaching someone yet. I mean I can do it. I definitely can do it. I'm not saying I'm not, but I said now like my body's condition is still recovering from that like a hard thing to me. I mean because it's. Yeah, I don't know what I can say, but yeah, it's something like a really heartbreaking, yeah.
And
yeah, but I still recover, yeah.
now that you've left Paris Eternal, what memories do you keep in mind?
Definitely first boot camp and first time we do homestanding together, and after that when we lose the Houston, and after that we beat the Philly, we fix everything in just one day, and then we've covering it then and beat them, and that time HIF and FDGod showing their like a hype and soon also, and everything was like a really memorable. And during the COVID situation, everyone just get the hard time, so they was like a really suffering it, and every playoff is really memorable for me. And after season over, everyone crying, and they say to me next year we're gonna be different, something like that. And that a lot of things is too memorable for me. I mean, even the Avala tried to gather about the family video, and that is also memorable. I mean, a lot of things. I can still remember. I mean, when during I stayed it, I can like bring a lot of things back to my memory. Yeah, a lot of.
Yeah, for sure. I guess. And to talk a bit about you and the fact that now you're with Philadelphia Fusion. When you've already been champion with San Francisco Shock, when you've had a great season with Paris Eternal, is it easy then to find a team, and especially a good team to work with?
One thing I don't know is I didn't like say to the other team I'm gonna leave the team, so only like a few team was contacting me, like not really a lot. I think 4 or 5. So
on 20, it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, yeah. To be honest, sorry. So, but it's like quite a lot of things was interesting to me, but I think final decision was a 2 team. One is San Francisco Shock, one was Philadelphia Fusion. So I really because when I back to the Shock, I mean that is really gonna be a good story, and Straight Pit is definitely a lot of historical like a point, and back to my player, and maybe I'm recovering myself to be like a hurting from the Paris part, and maybe I don't need to like spend a lot of time for the global every single player, and maybe I can focusing in more job and doesn't need to care about a lot of things. So I think after grand final, both of the team contacted me like a few days after grand final, and I met each other. And definitely I can say the Chris, San Francisco GM, he is one of the best GM, and he tried to like convince me to be like join the Shock, and I almost like a handshake. I mean, actually we do something like a Lydia thing a lot together, but yeah, that is. But why do I decide to go to Philly? Is one is definitely their players incredible, and I really love them also. And secondly, the GM, the Lawson, is one of the guy I really want to working, because last year when we talking each other with the interview, and I don't know why, but when we talk each other, we suddenly become like a friend, something like he's like the guy really someone I can enjoyable to be working together. And Chris also best, but I just want to be like if I want to be recover myself to be like next year, because after the Paris situation happened, I want to be like thinking about if I join the Shock, it's back to the home, right? I mean, I literally can say that is my home. So, back to the home is I can be less of there, but it's something like an escape about the situation. So it's not. Maybe I'm gonna say like a really positive way to meet myself, but it's something like I want to be thinking about if I didn't do head coach this year and I didn't do success this year, to be honest, but that's the reason if I join the Philly, I can be full dive myself to be working back to the game industry again, and maybe a lot of things gonna be not easy to be like handle it, but that kind of like a challenge is make me not gonna be stopped. But if I gonna be back to the Shock, definitely we can making the great season together again. But it's gonna be like maybe I gonna stop at some point, because I already like not want to be literal about someone want to be head coach or someone like a level of the person. So this is one of the big reason I joined the Philly.
Of course, San Francisco Shock is your first home, but the thing is, if you went back to San Francisco Shock, you would be only the second. I mean, Krusty is always the head coach. And you've already won with San Francisco Shock. San Francisco Shock is as well the back-to-back champion. So maybe the challenge is more exciting with Philadelphia Fusion. Is that one of the reason you choose to go to Philadelphia Fusion? Because you can be the first ever coach to win something with Philadelphia Fusion, and you're the head coach.
So yeah, that is a quite big reason. I mean, I talked with the Croatia and talked with their player a lot of the thing, and we're like a really good friend. So I really almost like signed with them. But my final decision was, I think back to the San Francisco Shock is might be gonna be stop me. I mean, might be gonna be like a 9K career is gonna be stopped at there, because I will gonna be satisfied, or maybe I'm not going to challenge anymore. So there's a Fusion is something, and the player and the GM and the company, everyone really want to be passionate, want to have a great season. That, and Carfe even told me he just want to working with me and something like that, and I really want to be working with them, and I think they're like an amazing player also. So I want to making together with something with them.
How long is your contract with Philadelphia Fusion, 9K?
Is that possible to say that? I'm not sure. Is that okay to say that? I'm not sure.
You can say if you've signed for 1 year or 2.
Is that
it's
fine?
A great defense.
I'm not sure. No, I don't think it's a good idea to say that. I will message you. No, I don't know, because I never explained that concept. I don't know. But it's definitely more than 1 year. It's definitely more than 1 year.
Okay, that's on the long term, right? That's the plan.
Yeah. And, because I don't want to stay only 1 year at the team.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I can guess. And you're, I mean, lucky because like Philly Fusion is a really nice project. I mean, the structure is solid. There are means, ambition. Players are amazing. But the thing is, Philly has never won anything, any title in OWL. I mean, is that a dream for you to become the first ever coach to win something with them, to help them to reach that goal?
I think company and the player and even the community, everyone expecting me to bring some championship title for them, champion for them. So definitely that is one of my dream for that. But I just don't want to be player thinking about too much about the championship, because I mean that is definitely one goal for us to achieve. But if you're only working and want to expecting for them, and if you fail about some part, maybe you're gonna be hurt yourself a lot, something like that. So I want to be like every player is gonna be like making the goal. I mean, it's same as like in Korea university. If you want to light down about the best university, but still you need to expecting about the different situation and want to handle it. You're studying for the best university or best situation for your project for that, but I don't want to be like a player like a league about some parts. So but definitely I want to bring for them the champion, and I want to be like a player has a chance to be bring together.
Yeah, I remember you had the same mindset with Paris Eternal last year. So now you're head coach Philadelphia Fusion, and you know sometimes when a coach gets to a new team, he doesn't come alone. I mean, he brings with him an assistant coach, sometimes a manager, maybe a few players. Nobody interested you at Paris Eternal?
Okay, I will be honest with this part. So the Korean player, I was bring some of them to definitely Fusion, but I delete that option really earlier before they even join the Fusion, because if I bring like let's say about some EM player or some like XEM player, that is kind of like a stolen from the rush, because he already spending to grow up that like a player and long term, and even I can possibly bring for that. I don't want to be like making trouble with him for that, because he's a good like a head coach for me, and I really respect him, and also also the player really love him and everything, and I was promised him to be the part's gonna be 2 years something like that, but I only broke the promise and took in the player. That's something like mean to him a lot, so I didn't even think about to bring it. And yeah, so I want to be like a player, the working with the best place and best job for them. So I didn't thinking to bring the Korean player, and let's say to the FDGod and the best Nico soon. So FDGod, I mean, we have only Funny Astro, so we're never thinking about him to be like a because I mean. FDGod is a really good player, and Funny Astro also a good player, so it's kind of hard to be like bring one of the best player for a team together. And so Nico is I was thinking about the Nico a bit more about that, but we're like the team want to do something together, and we're like a lot of things happen inside. I mean, I can't say that, but it's literally happened a lot of thing about that, like the number and everything, and so it's like it's hard to say about that detail and soon and Nico was situation, but DPS was literally complicated thing happened to bring it. So and Bembest, I think I really love him, and I mean, let's say about the Nico soon be more about I'm not saying about they're a bad player or something like that. They're like definitely one of the best player and definitely one of my favorite player for the working together. But in my situation, it's hard to bring them for the team. And Bembest also the same situation.
There's EQO as well, so it's tough for Soon and Nico
it's kind of
the team, But for Ben,
it's like a low. Ben. Definitely, I love to bring the Ben for the team. That is because he's one of my favorite line art. I mean, and a lot of things I want to say good thing to him, but yeah, that is also the situation. After COVID situation and team want to be like want to starting this roster, and we're probably gonna be starting the season with this roster. And if there's something situation happen, maybe I want to bring him for the team. But right now the situation is not like we can bring someone extra right now. It's
tough to have two main tank.
Yeah, I mean, definitely two main tank. I love to do that, and definitely that is one of the way really possible to figure out to that. We was actually thinking about to bring the band, but we was talking about that and everything plan about that. But we're the final decision. Let's keep the situation a bit more, and let's see about the situation. Yeah.
All right. And are you surprised to see that this kind of player, Ben, Nico, soon they still don't have an OWL team for 2021?
I'll kind of expect about that part. I mean, definitely Ben, Nico soon is deserve, and the level of the skill is definitely join the OWL team. But this right now situation, as my perspective, OWL team is right now two-way team. I mean, one want to be like put a lot of budget for bring the team like a strong team and want to be like a champion title team, and second team is like a low budget team and want to making one of the valiant story like a low budget and great season. So this is two seasons for that, and doesn't have like a middle team right now. So it should be if they have a middle budget and middle goal team, it's definitely interesting to bring for them. But right now the COVID situation is separate the team to be like all total different. So that is one of the reason, because if you want to be save the money, they're like do the gambling for the maybe this player is high potential. Let's bring this potential for the making the new like someone to be like making the possible to be strong player, and the high level team and the strong budget team want to be player already approve it to player to be want to join the team. But Ben, Nico soon is like already showing their performance, and they're like all player can expect about their level and something like that. So there is not something gambling they want to using for the player in the live play, something like that. But I think this year the middle budget team is not many this year, so that is I think one of the biggest reasons. So that is kind of like an unfortunate situation for them. It's but I think definitely some team want to join together with them, and maybe, but I think they're still better than a lot of player, and some they're like and especially Nico is one of the cleverest player, and he's like a really like a clever, and definitely soon is a high level player in some point and some character, and Bembest also. But I think they're definitely, and let's say about the Nico is a May and Leaper and Tracer and the extra hero. What was it? I can't remember. But he's like
Nico.
Doomfist and Nico. That definitely the deserve level to be the. Join the team. He can bring a lot of the energy for the team also, so he can definitely do something his job. And I mean, I can't say he's like a perfectly a high level player. I mean, if no one can compare with him, I can't say that, but he's definitely stronger a lot of point, and he's a literally talented player. So I literally want to he join back to the. I mean, if he back to the join to the double team some team, I'm really glad about that and really appreciate about the team to bring that together.
Yeah, off season is not over, so we still have a chance.
Yeah, off season is still not over. Yeah,
next season. Just to come back a bit on what you said about Rush and this kind of gentleman agreement you have with him. I mean, did you talk together about that, or you just? I respect Rush too much. I know that he wants to bring back Element Mystic to Dallas Fuel, so I won't touch to any player because Aid came alongside him. Fielder, Hanbin, Sparkle, Exy had also joined the team. What do you think about this project?
His project is amazing. I mean, when I heard from the Paris about we're gonna be exploit or something like that, I mean, definitely Lush want to bring for the Sparkle and Hanbin, Exy, and all of the player. And I appreciate that, and I thinking that is definitely we want to be making that kind of happen. So I talked to the company, I talked with my president a lot of time. I mean, even some team say a literally freaking number, literally a lot of number to buy about some player. Try to our best for let's go together the same team as much as possible. So because I mean, even we was a Paris Eternal. I mean, after that, even we're not going together with the Western player, I want people thinking about there is something. They're an ex-Paris player. I mean, no one gonna be say that. I mean, maybe someone gonna say that, but I want to be they're a group together to making their next story together. So that is the reason. One thing I can do for them to my final. Before they leave the team, I say a lot of times for the company can possible to. I mean, that is time our president Derek. He did a lot of things for the player, and also I talked to the Russia about I think you're gonna bring the AD is gonna be best option for that, because I mean I want to go also together definitely, but I mean budget way and a position way and everything is hard to join together. But I think AD is a really good coach, and he did an amazing job for the player, and he's one of the funniest guy and everything. So I want to be I just want to go together. But I just think the best option is going to be together with the Rush, because he already my ex-player, and we already spent 1 year, and he is the first year the Austin coach side. So I want to be he can still learn from the Rush also, because he's one of the best head coach. And to be honest, one thing is after when I heard it, my first idea was maybe next time I'm want to join the team alone. So I don't want to making the Paris a soul is gone somewhere, right? So if I go into the Aid and Rush, Aid and me together, or some taking some a player to the other team, that is something gone everything, right? It's totally separate each of the part, right? So that is the reason I want to be everything is kept together. And I mean that time Rush did really great job, and our president the Derek also did a great job to join together the team. So I really appreciate that this happened.
Yeah, and you're finally happy for them, because that's the best thing for Rush and the player to stay all together.
Yeah.
And they have big history from Element Mystic from Paris, and they're gonna keep going with Dallas Fuel. A word about FDGod. He's now playing for San Francisco. That's such a crazy story for our favorite frog. Did you talk with Krusty about FD?
Yeah, definitely we talk about it, but it's not something we individually message me. How is FDGod? How is something like that? We didn't talk about that, but after grand final, I went to their grand final, and after that we drinking together everything, and I talked that time FDGod about he's quite amazing. I mean, talk about every player, but I think he's quite an amazing player and everything that. So when I heard it, he's San Francisco tried to picking up the FDGod. I think that is really happy about that part. I mean, FDGod is deserved to be joined the strong team the next year. I don't want to be joined something like a weird team or left the Paris alone or left the Paris to some part and like a struggle for the try to, because he is the one of the guy. I mean, I say every every player also, but he's the one of the guy first year, and he did do amazing year that, and everything is like a dream is going to be over it, and then next year, second year, it's going to be worse year. I mean, he might be going to be retire and just do something like a streaming or something like that. I don't want to be some good player just let's go down for the second season. So if he joined to San Francisco, he's really gonna be hardworking. It's gonna be he's a second year, and he's gonna be second year, so will be definitely amazing than the first year, because first year is like a fresh year student. He kind of like something do like what he wanted. He can't do like something what he just thinking, and like and home standing everything is like want to be a hard year. But it's like this coming year is gonna be amazing year for him. But I don't know about the after I'll leave the shock. So the style wise, I'm not going to be totally same as me, but I think some point and some player definitely going to be similar with the Paris. So maybe he going to be suitable for to join the San Francisco Shock together.
Yeah, we talked about that together, saying that he already worked with Korean roster, mixed roster, Korean head coach as well, and it was really good. Why not with San Francisco Shock? I mean, I think it's gonna be all right, and I'm looking forward to watch FD next season. Talking about French players, NineK in Philadelphia Fusion, you've met POKO Rico. Is part of the player you wanted to keep, NineK?
I definitely want to keep the most of the Philadelphia Fusion roster. I mean, even like Ivy and the Fury and Hisu and like Sado, and they're gone. But yeah, definitely there's roster really interesting. One of the reasons to join the team. But let's say about the POKO a bit more about that. I mean, I know him as like a first year and second year and third year. I mean, I think as I really know him is I think third year, like last year, because of parts, because Ben told me a lot of time about the POKO, and he's really good friend of the POKO, and we're like I don't know why, but we against with the Philadelphia Fusion too much time, right? So I saw him like a POV a lot, and I saw his streaming a lot, and I think he's one of the guy underlaid about the because of he's the funniest like a streaming or something like that. Because when I talk with him and when I heard from the player and their like a coaching staff and GM, everyone loved the POKO a lot, because he's the guy who really practice hard and work out hard, and everything he did really hard. And then when I was to do the 101 the meeting with him, I can see his like a passion, and when I saw that, what is it? He uploaded the Twitter that he looking for the new team if he can possibly join the main roster, not like a sub roster, and that is something like a player really desperate to want to be like one of the best player for that. So I think that kind of like a story really want to be making him to a strong player, and that is I can see there's not a lot of power. And Hanbin even say that he's really good word about him, and I really respect of Hanbin. So this reason I think he still have a really high chance to be like one of the best of tank next year.
Yeah, and we're always surprised because people, they're talking too much, I mean a lot and sometimes too much, about the marketable profile of POKO. I mean, you said it, he's streaming, he's funny, he's good looking as well, but no one is talking about his real level, and he's a beast. No, I mean, he's a beast.
Yeah, he's definitely really high mechanic person. I mean, so I really try to making the knowledge of the game to be like one of the best of tank, and how can be like that. Then I have like a really lot of point about this. So next year, maybe people expecting about the POKO about something, but I will want to be see that part about how can he become a really good. I mean, he already good. I'm not saying he's really bad right now. And
no, but he told us you've already started to work with him.
Yeah, I'm starting. I started with him to be working together, and I messaged with him like sometime. I mean, I don't want to be like a before the Christmas and just dive into the full to the game. So I'm not like I really send a lot of things, but sometimes just watching his streaming like a. I'm watching stream a lot. I mean, I do watching. I mean, even before the interview, I was watching the Shockwave the streaming, and and when I walk up, I sometimes like watching the POKO and Shockwave were like some of the player the X like streaming. So and I didn't message them, but I thinking about oh yeah, if we were starting working, I will want to say this one, and I'm making the note for the player. So I will definitely want to POKO bring for the one of the best player together.
You're not scared when you're watching POKO streaming, yelling and doing crazy things?
I muted.
Okay.
no, I'm joking. I'm not muted, but yeah, sometimes but I think that is a really good sound. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be like a person just shy and didn't say that, and even the streaming is gonna be boring. If maybe I'm gonna sleep during the streaming. So I think I love to be someone like an entertaining person. People think about this like a crown, right? Everyone thinking about this something like a funny guys, but I think that is not you can't like making the player someone like a funny person is like a really under level. I mean, he's like definitely. I mean, yeah, he's a humorous person. I mean, Bembes also was a humorous a lot. So. I think I will gonna be like see a lot of part from him to be next year. I think I like him. He's one of the great guy.
Yeah, Ben and POKO are not kind of best friend for nothing, for no reason. So yeah, kind of the same. Let's talk maybe about Philly's off season. Did you decide which player to keep and which player to release in the team?
Yeah, I do. I mean, not 100% involved with it because became a head coach to the Philadelphia Fusion, but I didn't know whole story and whole thing about their like a year, right? Because I mean, every year something like can possible to happen, something like that. So that year was not really easy year for them a lot of part, but they like really friendly each other, something like that. So a lot of things happen. So I'm making the decision some part. I'm not making the decision some part, but I think most of the thing is I was handled it.
And what have you discovered in Philly team? I mean, you maybe had an idea, a picture about the team before you joined them, and now you're here. What have you discovered?
Oh, I think they're doing great season some part, and they do their like a color, how they're making their color to this year. So I will want to keep their color also. I want to put my color to be making some different teams. So and also Movi and Christopher is really good coach to keep the player to be grow up together. So I think the best thing is most of the keep their loser next year and the strong point. So I think maybe we will not gonna be spending a lot of time for the next year to figure out like a really small thing. So we will gonna be the focusing about the big picture, everything together.
And about the player, we can talk a bit because there were like 6 players. I'm thinking about Boombox, Shipsa, Ivy as well, Sado and Isu. They left for Toronto. What can you say about all this departure? I mean, I was quite surprised by Isu and Ivy, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Yeah, other part I want to say that, but let's keep focusing about the Isu and the Ivy. So when I joined the Paris, I wasn't thinking about to bring Ivy that time, and because I think I heard a lot of things from Ivy and see the Ivy. Ivy has a really good talent and good mechanic, so he's a guy, one of the guy really interesting working together next year. But yeah, we kind of like we can possible to together working with him. So, but his off season is something like a mess, right? So it's something happened and he's just joined the other team. So it's something like we miss him. And
he wanted to leave. He wanted to leave the team?
No, he also was like a 50-50 to leave the team or join the team, something like that. So, but it's something like happened, and he just gone, something like that. So that time, one of the options for next year is definitely to keep him together, to making the strong roster together. And I was really expecting working together, but it's happened. But I think off season can possibly happen if you're not under the company contract. So I mean, yeah, he was free. And Hisu case is something really unnatural, but I can't say this one also because it's something like a not good idea to say that. But yeah, Hisu is one of the guy we want to keeping, and I talked with the coaching and everyone and player and the GM, and everyone love Hisu a lot, and this is one of the iconic person for the team. But I mean, I just don't want to let Hisu and the Ivy guns, but yeah, they're like if something happened, it's gone. So I can't say that clearly. Maybe one day I can say that, but right now I think it's not going to be a good idea to say everything. And so
I talked a bit about that with POKO, and he told me that Hisu maybe wanted to leave another challenge somewhere else.
Yeah, he also wanted to challenge a lot of thing. I mean, we have a car fail also a lot, so I mean. He showed great performance as the grand final. So he also want to be like do something like a main. He can be more. I mean that is I think like can possibly say that he want to do like a main his can position be more strongly like a mercredi and like a Widowmaker. Yeah, so I also like promise him a part about that. I can like give you chance if you're good at the better than Carfe in this at that period or something like that. But yeah, it's something like happen a lot, so we can't possible to keep him. So yeah, but it's kind of like a saddest part for me. I mean, definitely one of the reason I joined the team because of try to work with the Fury and the Carf and. Yeah, Ivy and the Hisu and definitely the other guys also Funestro and everyone love it too, but I think everyone just gone because his situation is not really allowed to do that. So I think it's kind of sad part, but yeah, whatever. It's okay.
Let's focus on the new team. So 2 player has arrived. Mano from New York Excelsior. I love this player, and Shockwave as well, who popped off with Vancouver Titans. What about Mano? Did you choose Mano as a main tank position?
Yeah, I did it. Because one of the biggest reasons I choose Mano to join the team because we do working together at the World Cup last year, the 2019, and that time I really like him, and he's one of the guy really interesting to working together. And next year it's going to be much more complicated than this year, right? Because his ban system is going to be really strong point and maybe a lot of hero and a lot of like point. And it used to be like a main tanker or some position doesn't need to be practiced a lot of the hero. Maybe they can practice some of the point. I mean, at the like a playoff time, definitely they can do. But during the season, every 2-week ban system is going to be making the player weaker at some point, right? So at the market situation, I was thinking Muse and Mano and some extra the other guys a lot, but I think he is one of the guy really can possible to bring a lot of things, and he is the guy know how to play my style also. So I think he's one of the best pick for that. I mean, he's not the. I think he's a really good guy. I mean, I start working with him like some part, and he's really spongy. I mean, definitely POKO also. They're like really guys too, and I really main tanker and off tank is really important for me. So I think at that time I know the market who gonna be possible that can bring that. So I think he's one of the best guy at that time we can bring for the team.
Yeah, a really great addition. What about his personality? I mean, we know his skills, but what about his personality? How is he?
His personality is really gentleman, funny guy, and cute person. And I think that is one of the big reasons I bring him. I mean, most of the main tanker is mental is really bad. because I mean. I mean, I used to play main tanker. I don't think we'll say that. Main tanker is one of the hardest job. I mean, you're like everyone punch you, everyone like hit you, but you can't do anything. You you block it, and the whole time you like a bully for the whole your teammate and the enemy whole time. Like you're like a fight with the 9 players, so it's gonna be the hardest job. So every like positioning of the main tanker is mental is not really good. I mean, there looks like funny, there looks like guys like really talk about it, but they're in their heart they're like angry a lot. But yeah, but Mano, I never seen he be angry. I mean, and he's the guy like I mean, that is listen. If I bring like a new freshman to the team, I don't need to worry too much about the like a join together, because like a main tanker, if you're joining the team with the team, you need to figure out to be like a working the part, like a you can't do this, you can do that, and like it's like making the same page is gonna be hard. But if you're mentally not really trouble, that is much more easier than the other. But yeah, so that is one of the reasons next year I want to be like a focusing really some parts, so he's a guy like really suitable for the working together team like really quickly. And I know him like a really long time ago. Even he was like a really amateur player, I already know him, and so we know each other like 4 or 5 years. So I thinking he's a guy really can possible to working together easily. Yeah.
Does he speak English?
Nah.
Not yet.
We do like a group meeting together a few days ago. I think I can't remember what day, but yeah, he's a guy, like a shy guy right now because of English right that. I mean, but he keep trying it, and he's starting his English class, I think. And the English teacher told to the GM, and he's the guy really easy to teach him. And I think he's definitely. I mean, and we have like a quite long term right before the season started, so I think we have a bunch of the time to figure out his English also. Yeah.
It was not too hard to recruit him. How did you convince him to come to Philadelphia Fusion? Maybe you didn't have to.
But I know he's gonna be interesting during the Fusion, definitely, because Fusion is one of the interesting team, and was a possibility and everything is a good condition. And also we have a Carfe. I also working with Team X, and our GM also do like a really good job for the bring him together to the team. So and he making decision really quickly and to join the Philly. Then yeah.
Let's talk about the other one, DPS player Shockwave. What about Shockwave, NineK?
Yeah, he's a guy I'm really interesting to bring the team. So one of the biggest reason is he's a young talent also, but he's like a really clever guy. Because when we against a match with Vancouver, I was not expecting he gonna leave the team, but it just in case I tried to thinking about the option to we can possibly bring it, because I know his strong point, I know he's like a weakness hero, and I know he's like a strong hero. So when we figure out to sign with the Carpen and AQQ, I was thinking about what is the best option for us for the next year, and if we have a ban system, and thinking of the championship situation. And one of the option after the Ivy gone, I think Shockwave is our second best option. I mean, I'm not saying the Ivy is better than him, but at some point this is a guy who can really bring a lot of good knowledge of the game, and his English level also high, and everything is like a clever guy, and he knows how to win the game. He knows how to bring the energy for the team. So the Chris Paul told me about how he's like a communication skill and like how he do and something like that. So and he said a really good word for that, and why not to bring one of the young talent guy. So we want to bring him as a team, and he's a guy definitely can bring a lot of like a winning condition for us.
And what about the rest of the team? So now you have like 7 players. Is Philadelphia Fusion equipped to fight for the title next season? I mean, what do they miss to win the title?
I think it's not someone like a problem. It's not something like a coach problem. It's something like I have a personal idea about why they do happen that one thing, but I don't want to share that because it's gonna be like a tip for some team, and it's gonna be maybe a good idea for them. But I have my personal idea for that. I don't want to make other teams strong, so that is my idea. So it's I think why do you win the champion and why you fail before the champion is definitely have an issue. Definitely. that is why the shock is strong and why winning team is strong. If you keep winning, they have a reason to winning it. That definitely, and that is reason Philadelphia. Why I know they're fail it. I'm not saying I know that, so I can fix that. I can't say that, but definitely I have my perspective. Why they do that. Why happened, and I want to not gonna happen that thing is okay.
You figure already some area of improvement for next season, and but the thing is, when I look at the other team, I mean, SF Shock is back-to-back champion. Dallas Fuel has recruited very hard this off-season. Shanghai Dragons, Florida Mayhem are still looking strong, and I'm not even talking about LA Gladiators or Washington, which spend a lot of money to step up. But when I look at the team, with only 7 players available, I mean, is it enough to fight for the title next season? I mean, Shanghai, San Francisco, Hangzhou Spark, they have like 11, 12 players and...
Yeah, true. I mean, I'm not going to say that we're enough player to be like ready for the championship. I mean, maybe we need to like some part for the figure out, definitely. And what I agree with that. Yeah.
What would you look for if you have to recruit one more player? It will be on DPS position, on the front line, on the back line.
I mean, definitely one main tanker and one more DPS and one more like a flex support.
Yeah.
And one more, maybe. I mean, if you have a lot of players, definitely we love
everything.
Yeah, almost like every position I need one more. But yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, that is like a really way to be like easily to be get the championship. I mean,
because the team looks strong, full of beast player, but that's a long season and everything, you know, might happen. So sometimes when you have already sub, it's maybe easier to deal with all the season.
Yeah, true. But you need to thinking of the first year though of Double, because after London was a 12 player and they let them go to the like almost like 5-6 player, and just only have the 6 player and they still winning the championship, right? So sometimes like a small like a roster is like have a like advantage also. I mean, big roster have an advantage a lot. Definitely, I can say that. But small roster is not the one of the thing we're weakness part. I mean, we have the weakness of some parts, right? But it's not. Maybe we can focusing about some player to improve together, and maybe we know our strong point really quickly, and we can making decision much better than the other team, and we're like making the short term to be like a practice about to improve the players. So it's something like we have advantage to some point. So yeah, that is one of the thing we definitely can possible to we can do though. I mean, big roster has advantage a lot, but it's not the meaning about the if you want to win the championship, you need to like everything. Yeah,
of course. Dallas Fuel had many players in the roster and they didn't win anything.
You're not using it?
And they're not even using them. So yeah, that's true. Another question: do you have more resources with Philadelphia Fusion this year than you had last year with Paris Eternal?
I mean, at some point, it's definitely we have a much more resource than last year, but some point we are lesser than last year because last year is one of the everyone doesn't have the COVID, right? So they can like put a lot of resources there. But after COVID situation, I think a lot of team can't like do like spending a lot of resources for that, but still they have like a good resource, a lot of things like a facility and like everything, and like they're like a build of their structure a lot. So I think definitely it's gonna be 50% is higher, 50% low. So I think it's almost same level. I mean, at some point it's a high level. Yeah.
Let's talk a bit about next season. And Philadelphia Fusion has decided to compete in Korea. Why, NineK?
It's not my decision, to be honest.
you would have preferred to compete in NA?
I think both is fine. Definitely both is fine. I mean, because NA scene is advantageous. You have a lot of team, and you can see a lot of like a scream, and you definitely can do like a lot of thing at there, and you already know each other team, and definitely easy to build our story. And if we have like a title, the season title, like a countdown cup, something like that, definitely if I do against with the Dallas, or if I against with Toronto and San Francisco, definitely I love to do that. This is because people gonna like it, because it's Fusion head coach and
you're not leaving because you're scared.
Yeah, I'm scared.
I'm kidding.
No, because that is one of the passionate point. But I think when I first time heard that, definitely I agree with it. Yeah, that is a big reason because the COVID situation, and we already have a good infrastructure and Korea, and it's not just we making decision because of the team and everything. We just want to investing is want to be like a player, keep the best condition and best away from the bad situation. And the funny thing, I didn't realize until a few weeks ago, but we don't have any single NA player.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that is one of the so that is true. So that is one of the reasons maybe we're down to be not going to the NA. But I mean, definitely I love to be joined to the Fusion, to working at the Fusion, to be do the homestanding and provide the Fusion home. And I already been to Fusion 2 years ago with the grand final, and that city was amazing for me and have a good memory with them. So definitely want to do the Fusion next year. But yeah, I think every situation, every condition, and every if you're considering the next year, I think definitely not going to be easy to be and the still East Coast is one of the hardest coast the side to be just go to the, and we doesn't know the next year what's going to happen. So I think a company making decision for the player and the coach. Yeah.
When will you start practicing for next season? Because you said right now you don't want to give too much work to the player. You're kind of in holiday right now.
Yeah,
I know you're always working, but I mean, you're supposed to be in holidays.
Yeah, I mean, I do working a lot. I mean, try to be a best content for me. So I do the mentally recovering. I do starting I really idioting a lot. I mean, but yeah, I think we're starting season probably. I mean, everyone do streaming together is probably February. I think so. Yeah, I think February, because one of the big reasons is you have to bring every player together to start together, course. Right? Yeah, so that is can't possibly do that right now because of the COVID. But online coaching and do online stuff probably. I'm going to do the individual coaching earlier or middle of the January, I think. So, yeah. But we didn't talk about detail because I think everyone's right now the vacation and the holiday. So maybe after that I will want to be okay, because I don't want to making the decision only. I want to starting this day. I can't do that, right? So I just want to be making the player to be agree together to starting. Yeah.
And so, what are you doing right now? I mean, during your holidays, do you play other games? No, you're still working. You're watching Gauntlet day and night.
Oh yeah, I do watching at the Gauntlet. I mean, I just want to away, but yeah, when I turn off my YouTube, it's the top one of the top is Gauntlet. So I need to click it, and yeah, and someone we have a group chat a lot, but some group chat mentioned what the Gauntlet is doing happen this one. So yeah, and they mentioned it, so I was watching it, and
you watch it for every region. Watch NA, EU, and Asia, or.
I mean, I'm watching every region, but I didn't watching a detail it. Yeah. But I think most of the time I'm watching Korean and EU, and I didn't watching the NA a lot. But yeah, I think sometimes I'm watching NA, and
that's why you don't have any NA players in Philly.
No. Definitely, NA is a really interesting division. And secondly, I didn't play a game a lot, to be honest, because my PC is not really good right now, and I didn't expect we were gonna stay to Korea, right? So I didn't try to buy the PC until now, and I mean, I'm probably gonna buy the PC, and I want to do the Cyberpunks, but my PC is not really good. Yeah, so and I do the woodworking. I mean, I just starting, so I'm not really good, but one of my dream was woodworking. I mean, making some a wood stick or wood spoon, something like that. So I tried to learn from the online lesson. So I starting a few days ago. It's really interesting to that. If you're mentally nearly not good, if you're shaving in the wood, something feel really covering myself to be something like that. So I do sometimes hand the calligraphy and something like that, but I just try to be like away from the social media. I mean, because I supposed to be light down about the Bembes and Nico soon about the war for that, but why do I didn't do that is not, I'm not respecting, but I do message them individually, but I forgot the timing about the, because if something happened at that time to the not posting the light timing, so, and then I already missed it, so I'm pretty sorry about that, but I try to away from the PC as much as possible, because next year, and I told you last time I have a neck like a part, right? Because the neck disc, so I do work out for that, and that is one of the reasons I away from the PC. It's still painful right now. There. No, right now I think it's fine, because I think the one of the biggest reasons about this I wearing the headset whole time, right?
Oh,
because headset, it's making my neck go down, and like when I do working, I was like almost like a do turtleneck thing a lot, like go from the front of the PC a lot, so that monitor. So this time I think I didn't painful a lot, but sometimes it's still painful. So I want to be like figure out before the season. Yeah.
Yeah, take care of yourself, NineK.
Really. No, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. I say maybe I say like a two, like a
no. That's
non-positive person. Yeah. But I think I'm really good. This season is I really love it. Yeah.
Okay, but so you're doing many things right now, but I'm not hearing that you're trying to learn French, NineK. You were supposed to learn French last season. What do you do? I wanted to ask you a French question.
Oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Even I have to leave the Paris?
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
No. I love that. I love that kind of joke. I mean, definitely. Yeah.
But maybe you have a message for the Philly fans. There's a lot of French, but not only French. So maybe you want to tell them something before we conclude.
Oh yeah, sure. Philadelphia Fusion, when I went to the grand final 2 years ago, at that time it's not definitely one of the Philadelphia Fusion, and definitely a lot of like a city people or like a other team fan, but I saw at that time a lot of Philadelphia Fusion, and every single person really like loved the sports, and everyone to like see that, and this is one of the biggest like fan base city, and I can't say that I can bring the champion for the Philadelphia Fusion fan, but I will do my best, and I don't want to making them to the regret again and regret some part. So, and the player also loved the Philadelphia Fusion and the industry and the society a lot. So they told me a lot of the good stuff about the Philadelphia Fusion, and Super also told me a lot of the Philadelphia Fusion, and that is the reason I really want to be working for the Philadelphia. And I saw a lot of the year the Philadelphia did it for the league, and they do it a lot of things, and they're passionate a lot, and I want to be make them to the happy this year, the coming year and 2021, and I will do my best job for them.
Yeah,
thank you for being a fan.
No, you're welcome, and we guess you. I guess you will. And what is your wish list, NineK, for Philly Fusion for Christmas? Your wish list. Will you write a wish list for Santa Claus to bring you something for Philly Fusion?
For the Philly Fusion?
No,
not for me.
You know Santa. You know Santa.
Yeah, I know. I know.
So when you're a kid, you write a list, a wish list, and you ask Santa, please, Santa, can you bring this to me? And so, what is your wish list for Santa Claus? Talking about Philadelphia Fusion. Maybe I'm not clear enough. I don't know.
No, I'm clear. I just like thinking right now what is the best for the team. I mean, maybe.
I thought that you're gonna say that Santa Claus is not real.
But to be honest, I realized Santa Claus is not real when it was like a 4 or 5. So I did like a.
You were so young.
Yeah, because the reason about that, when I went to the, what is it? I can't remember the word. What is the like really baby went to the school child, when the Santa Claus, like a fake Santa Claus, gave me the present, and I didn't know why, but when I get it, I really know this is come from my mother because so that time because I think okay yeah so so that time I didn't trust the Santa Claus. And then I mean I really love to be like a miss a lot that is literally we knocked out or something. And that time I told you I have like a listen every same music at the match day, something like that. But I think the best thing for the team is this is gonna be like a boomer to say that, but I just want to be everyone safe next year. And oh yeah, one thing I really want to be Santa Claus can bring for me, the homestanding or COVID like a virus secure the medicine.
Yeah.
It's too big. But I think homestanding, definitely I want to be like a homestanding. I really miss homestanding a lot.
Yeah, we all do. We all do. And we hope maybe in Philly or maybe in Europe next season, maybe to meet you in person for the first time.
Definitely.
Once again, NineK, thank you very much. I wish you nothing but the best with Philadelphia Fusion. Take care once again of yourself and keep an eye on our POKO National, please.
Thank you very much for the interview. I mean, I really appreciate with you interview, and thanks again about the asking about a lot of the good question. And I love to answer everything but I sometimes sorry about the not clear about the answer some question and my English part. But I think I love to interview with you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. See ya, NineK. Bye bye.
See you.
Loved you from the first time you called me late. Loved you for your wits and your wicked games. Yeah, always on my mind, always in my brain. Yeah, with you the summer came and went in a day, and I've been